I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow.
Good evening. If music is the food of love, let it be the food of life. So states Amy Holtzman, who is the creator of rock and roll. Her goal is to get rid of hunger, and she is helping adults, she helps children, as well as animals. And we're going to find out how she does this. But we also are going to meet tonight somebody who's very close to me, and that's Tommy Marr. He's a celebrity, and tonight he's going to share his experiences about life. We're going to come to know him as my friend. He's also going to talk about Woodstock, and as a real treat, he's going to sing at the end of the program. And we have Laurie Scheinman. Laurie, who is from Port Washington, has an amazing store. And in this eclectic store, she has this recipe for success. It's goods plus art equals fun or funds. And it's called Wit and Whim. And when we come right back, we're going to speak with Laurie Scheinman. Be right back.
YesWeCare.net is a 501c3 charity that provides help to veterans and their families. Please visit YesWeCare.net and donate in any way you can by purchasing our beautiful frame prints or relaxation CDs and DVDs, even smooth jazz CDs. YesWeCare.net. Remember, our troops are on their way home. They need all the support they can get. YesWeCare.net.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Laurie, welcome to Making a Difference with Gail. I am delighted that you're here tonight. And when we talk about making a difference, you are definitely one of those people who certainly does. But I'd like the audience to know that in addition to being an entrepreneur of this fabulous store, you are also and still practicing therapist. It's family and child.
Yes.
You are a wife. You are a mother to 5. God bless you. You also are involved not only in your store, but in community. And just curious, and I have to say this, I find the people the most busy are the people who find the most ways to organize. How do you do that?
Or the most insane. So first, thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
It's very
pleasure.
sweet of you. I juggle things, but I find that it keeps me feeling young and active, and Wit and Whim has become quite a passion. So,
Well, you help not only the community, individuals, but you help nationally and internationally. Quite an undertaking. And you know, it's really interesting, Laurie, that the store actually opened up last year, and that one year you were able to donate $15,000 to various charities, and you have since told me that in the last few months you've doubled that amount of money.
yes, we're lucky because the town took to us very well, and we're getting people within a 30-mile radius now, too. People are even coming from Manhattan to the store, so it's really become pretty widespread.
Do you think it's because, in addition to your being very relaxed and making people comfortable, which I felt right away, it's also because your goods, which is so special, you can't buy them for 20 to 30 miles. Is that correct?
The goods are very unique. Every item in the store has a story, because that's why it's in the store. Either it's vintage and it has a story from the past, or it's a modern piece or that a local artist has done, or it's part of our fair trade collection, which gives back not only from our profits, but also from their profits to education and housing and water, clean water
Amazing.
initiatives.
Now, I know that you got started many years ago in Brooklyn.
No.
No?
Yeah, no, this is my
The
first and
idea-
only
no,
store.
the idea
It has a
was-
Brooklyn feel, yes.
Right. Because what I read about you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it was Tea and Flea, where people, am I correct, came to your place in Brooklyn, and you talked about local causes and flea goods, right?
Like a flea market,
Like a
yes.
flea market.
I
So
turned
tell
my
me a little
house.
bit about that. Is that how this basically started, or did it happen when you moved to Fort Washington?
It was a little bug
Oh,
that started several
okay.
years ago with a fundraiser that I had done. That was just so much fun, collecting the goods and then watching them sell. It was really fun. And then, of course, giving the proceeds was just a triple great experience.
Did you see yourself years later opening up a store?
No,
and doing
never.
this?
No, this is so far away from what I ever thought. No, what happened was my kids all grew up. The last one graduated high school, and my husband and I were looking to invest in a 2-family home in the event that any of the kids wanted to come back. And this one particular 2-family home that we were interested in had like this little space that was, I wasn't sure what we were going to do with that space. And the home was recently restored from 1885.
Right.
And it was the old Carlton Market. And I just wanted to sort of do something that was going to sort of bring back the old mom and pop general store feel like it was originally.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a video clip of you in the store. So why don't we take a look at the store, and then everybody can see how homey it is,
Great.
and the fact that it's fashions, items for the home, and art.
Great. Everything in the store has a story. That's one of the ideas behind the store. These are made by an artist who is handicapped and who lives alone and has been disabled, and so he tries to make some extra money on the side by putting those pieces together. I got these necklaces in about a week ago, and they've been selling really well. They're from Ethiopia. They're fair trade. I love them. They're made from actual bullet casings, and the women melt them down and make them to create a water supply for the village that they live in.
Scheinman has developed meaningful relationships with customers who sometimes come in more for the therapy than for the retail.
One of the reasons people come to Wit and Whim, and where the therapist in me comes out, is sometimes people come in to chat. They're coming in to buy a gift, but they're coming in for more. Our customer service is really tailored, in such a way that we get to know our customers, and I buy with my customers in mind.
Love it. When you see that, how proud and how accomplishing you must feel.
It's still shocking to me
It's
that I
shocking
own this
to you.
store. Sometimes I walk into the shop and I'm like, is this really mine?
And you also really do involve the community. You have the Chamber of Commerce, tourism. So how does one get together and get everybody involved and do
It's so
something
much
like
fun. It's actually, that's the most fun that I have in the shop, is that we really involve the community, whether we're doing an art gallery showing of a new artist, or whether we're doing a kids project to make children aware of like pediatric cancer for Penelope's Odyssey,
Right.
where we had children come and make dream catchers that they gave to the children in the hospital, along with our funds for that month's
Yeah,
work.
I think the audience should know that each month you have a different charity that you have helped out with. And I have a few of them here, and I only have about 7 or 8, but I do want to have you comment on a few of them. Tell us how you got involved with it, what it evolved into. But one that I'd like to start with, I know that you also work with seniors, and you help raise money for them. And another was very dear to my heart as a previous educator, and that's with Long Island Cares. And that had to do with tools for education.
Right.
I can't begin to tell you, even on the high school level, how many kids came to school and they just didn't have the funds for notebooks, things that many people will take for granted. And there's nothing like starting the school year with a new pair of shoes and a new notebook. And you have helped out with that.
It's great because people come in and they've started to catch on, and they'll say, you know, our motto is gift and give back, or the little shop with the big heart. And they'll come in, and not only do we donate the profits, but we educate the community. So they'll come in and
Love
there's
it.
always information about the organization, and if they want to get involved, they can do so also.
And the public may not know this, but you also gift, the person who buys it receives a card knowing which charity that this particular product, the money, is going to. And the other thing that's very unique is that you have a concierge service. So that if I go online and I look at Laurie's store and I say, number 1 is selling item, pillowcases. I would love to have that pillow talk. I would love that. You will actually shop, send it, and take care of it, and then the money will be donated to a particular charity.
Right. It's even one step better than that. If you didn't know what we had in our store, but you just liked the idea, you can call us up and tell us who you're buying a gift for, a few bits of information about that person. We'll send you snapshots of a few items that we think would be perfect for that person.
Amazing.
And boom, it's done.
Who was the organic cookout for?
That was really funny. We did, as part of our adult programming for the community, we did an organic cook-off. So everybody who signed up brought little tasters for the amount of people that we had there. And then we had a grand prize winner, and it was
So you
really
make
fun.
contests, you bring the community in, you have the kids involved, and I think that when everyone is involved like that, not only does it bring everyone closer, but you have more of a goal, a mindset on that goal, and it makes you try even harder to help others.
It's also just fun.
Correct?
People
And
just
it's
come on by,
fun.
and it's just fun.
And it's fun. I'd like to talk about, I know that you had the Hurricane Sandy, you were involved with the Red Cross, and then you had Fill My Wagon, where people came in and
Because we felt the need was right there, and we knew specifically what items were needed for the communities. So it was so direct. We were able to just take our profits, buy the goods, and then either load their wagon, and also we trailered with them once to bring and deliver the goods as well.
And Safe Schools for LIGY. This is the Long Island Gay Lesbian Youth.
Right,
And there's a need for help in schools.
The bullying.
Tell us about that, the bullying.
right.
And is that where you said that you met
Nancy
Congresswoman
Pelosi,
Nancy
yes.
Pelosi, who
Yes.
came in and bought sunglasses, by the way, right?
And other things, but
And other
she was
things.
renowned for those sunglasses.
She was renowned. I saw the pictures of her in the sunglasses. She came in with Representative Steve Israel.
Right.
And you've had other people coming into the store too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people
Name
come in,
dropping.
but that particular one was fun because we were working with the Safe School Initiative program,
Right.
which again the funds went directly to the schools
money
and
went
to
right
the
there.
program, so it was really
Oh,
very
yeah.
tangible. So it was a lot of fun.
You're also involved in many of the charities that I am so involved with. And one of them, I'm very much for animal rights, animal rescue, Give Me Shelter.
Yes.
Oh.
That was our first animal
my
organization, and I was a little bit nervous because I wasn't sure what that population would want. And so
Sure.
we ended up buying a couple of really fun animal kind of gift items.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. We sold out, and we raised a lot of money too. It was a very successful month.
You had a very famous artist, Greg Milne, who
Yes.
came in from Chicago.
No, can you believe it?
And his unbelievable. One of the things that he's very much known for is Alice in Wonderland
Right.
artwork. And he actually brought in artwork, $200 and up, and then a percentage went to another wonderful charity, which is called Tuesday's Child.
Right.
And I do recall, of course, as everybody else does, 9/11, students I was teaching at the time called into another room, and there were students whose children's
Right.
parents were involved. So I'll always recall that. But Tuesday's Child, you donated a percentage.
That was a
from that?
fabulous.
Tell me about
That was a fabulous month because there were a lot of multi-layered collaborative work in that month. And so, for example, one of our vintage items that month that was on auction so that we could raise even more money for
Oh,
Tuesday's
that's
Children. We had one of the original. When we went to 50 states, we had one of the original flags that was produced in Pennsylvania that went to each state, one of the original flags, and we auctioned that. So that was fantastic. And then we had the kids involved, and they did a
I love
flag
that.
project.
Everybody get involved.
And so it was a really great
I
month.
have to ask you, and I have a few more questions, but who has most inspired you that you are so altruistic and so into giving back? Where does that come from, Laurie?
So I've had a lot of great mentors in my life, and my father was very instrumental in helping me brand Wit and Whim. He was sick with lung cancer and sort of withdrawn, and I brought him sort of into wanting to help, stay
Sure,
around just
sure.
to see this thing come to fruition. But certainly my greatest is my partner, Marty. He's fabulous. He believes in me, and he supports all my crazy notions and ideas, and I would have to say he's the one who most inspired me to believe I could do such a harebrained idea.
So you see, in order to be successful, there is somebody behind it. Behind every great woman is a great man?
There you go.
Is that how it goes?
And many other great women.
I also want to mention that you are an author and you love to blog. And before I ask you what's going to happen this year, I love this. Laurie is gorgeous, very slender. She confided in one of her blogs that she shares, and that's how you really get to know people through their writing. She said she was a chubby little 8-year-old, and she had a neighbor who used to tell her about the ugly duckling story and encouraged her. Would you very quickly just share with the viewers, because that kind of sums up.
It's actually
Beautiful.
a crazy story. This was a real person, but what happened was a woman walked into my shop and said, "Everybody tells me I have to meet you." And it turns out that she had a line of clothing that she wanted to bring into the store. And so I thought she was really talking to me about that, and I was a little bit nervous because it's my store and I'm very careful about who comes in. But as we started talking, she disclosed that she's from upstate and that she had a house near Woodstock, ironically today's hot topic.
We talk about Woodstock.
And it turns out her father, who unfortunately passed away, but her father was the guy who rooted me on when I was 8, and so it was like, I didn't even exactly. I didn't even think about it. I said yes, and then we had this great collaboration with her as well. It was it was great.
So when you go on your website, you will see the blogs, the pictures, and although the website has been up, would you want to mention that again? Your
Sure,
website?
I mean, definitely, it's wit-and-whim.com, but you can follow us on Facebook, which is Wit and Whim PW for Port Washington, or on Twitter, Wit and Whim PW.
As we wrap it up, tell me, what can we expect from you in this year?
Oh, lots of fun things. We have another big artist coming in February, right before Valentine's Day. So bring your Valentine or find a Valentine there.
I can't wait to go to Port Washington.
And lots of kids
store.
projects. The best way is to subscribe on our website, and you can get all the information. We don't bug you more than once a month.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. It was
Thank
a
you very much for
pleasure.
having me.
And we'll be right back with Amy from Rock and Roll.
Like so many people, are your finances tight lately? Afraid to open your mail or even answer your phone? Well, take heart. You don't have to live like that. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you can join the thousands of folks who have used safe and effective government-insured reverse mortgages. The government-insured reverse mortgages from Long Island's Senior Reverse Network allow you to stay in your home and turn equity into tax-free cash. Our government-insured reverse mortgages can eliminate mortgage payments, credit card balances, or just improve your lifestyle. Do yourself a favor and solve these problems now. Call the Senior Reverse Network, and our advisors will answer all of your questions about our reverse mortgage programs. We've helped scores of senior Long Island homeowners like you who now enjoy a worry-free retirement. Get the financial security and peace of mind you've dreamed about. Pick up the phone and call us at the Senior Reverse Network now to set up a free consultation.
Call 1-800-985-REVERSE. That's 1-800-985-7383.
Welcome, Amy Holtzman from Rock Can Roll, 501c3, a nonprofit that takes care of adults, children, and animals.
Yeah.
And I know that you've been involved in a lot of different areas. But I would like to first say a couple of things about this. I know that you're looking for non-perishable food that's healthful. And usually when people come to events, when I see them bringing a can, I know it's for Rock Can Roll.
Well, thank
Correct?
you. That's true.
And I thank you for that. Now, I'm not exactly sure how the idea came about, but I do know that you were involved with Island Harvest. I know you were a PTA mom, and I know in 1998 there was a hurricane in the Honduras called Mitch.
Right.
And I think it was a friend that had mentioned this to you. And lo and behold, one person got together and was able to help so many other people. So tell us a little bit about that and how you got started in Rock Can Roll.
Well, thank you first for having me. It's an
my
honor and pleasure to be here.
My pleasure. I love having good people who do good things and can share with others.
Well, thank you. And I first should probably tell you that when I'm telling you these stories, I really feel like I'm talking about somebody else because
surreal.
It certainly can't be me. So it's from, let me tell you about this person I know and the things that she's done. So Honduras was really a trip. I was at a party, met a neighbor who I didn't know because of my neighborhood. He said he lived in Honduras, and back in the day, people didn't have computers or those sort of things, really.
Right.
You know, it's in the mid-90s. And he said he wakes up every morning in Honduras, and he can read Newsday before he goes out on the, before his wife in Jericho would go out on the porch and read the newspaper. And I'm thinking to myself, where's Honduras? Who's got time to read Newsday? Because my children were small. Right. So the party was lovely. We left, we went home. A couple of weeks, probably the next week, there was this horrible hurricane in Honduras. Right. Mm-hmm. Flipping through the paper, I got to page 3, right, 1998. I got to page 3, and here's an article about this person I just met at the party by Ed Lowe, who was loved by everybody. He was close with Ed Lowe. And the gist of the article was, if you send stuff, the end of the article was, it was so terrible and things were so horrific. If you send things to Honduras, it would never get there. The country was so corrupt. No, I know. If you sent money, it would never get there. So the only way to ensure people got things was to go out on the street and give it to people themselves, yourself. So I called his wife and said, I'm sure you don't remember me. I met you at the party, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to send you, I can send Marvin a few things. And I was involved in the PTA at the time at our school. Okay. So what turned out to be, I'll send you a few boxes of basic supplies, turned into containers, shipping containers, 40-foot shipping containers from Maersk Lines. We collected, at the time, Furbies were big. Like everybody wanted a Furby. They were packed, it was October, so the containers were going down at the holidays. It was packed with food, with medical supplies, with clothing, with pallets of things. And I knew nothing about this. It just...
But look how one person can change everything. I also want to mention, because we don't have a lot of time, but I want to get as much as possible about
so much to talk.
But New Orleans, you also had 3 truckloads
with Katrina,
of food
with Katrina,
there. I know that you've done different events, but I want to get back to this whole idea of hunger. there are over 800 places, food pantries, kitchens, other places, and 45,000 people are being fed per week. And I don't think a lot of people realize this on Long Island.
That's
that
just
this
here
is
on Long
taking
Island,
place.
right.
I just have to mention that, you know, again, as an educator, there were kids who used to come to school. They would have the lunches in school, borrow money,
Right.
we'd buy them extra food.
Right.
They didn't eat again. They might have had a hamburger over the weekend,
If they were lucky.
if they were lucky, and then come back Monday with their bellies. They're hungry.
Yeah.
And then on the special holidays, they wouldn't have any food.
Right, when
And
school was
also,
out.
there were parents who were worrying about paying rent, and then there were seniors who had to pay for their medicine. So we're looking at a lot of different instances and what real hunger is about. And I say this because how many times you come back from the dentist, you can't eat, you're hungry, or you have to go in for some kind of an exam and you're not allowed to eat,
Right.
and you say you're really hungry. But this is extraordinary. Now I want to bring in this whole thing of music as well. I love the fact that you say you go to different concerts and you say that person looks like a can of tuna.
Well, that's
That one
kind of
looks like
how
a
that's
spaghetti.
sort of how as the
How
idea
you
was
see it.
evolving, how rock and roll kind of
Right.
came to me, because I was a lover of rock. I am a lover of rock and roll, and
That
it
I know.
saved
Wavy
me.
Gravy
It
and
saved me as a
Lynyrd Skynyrd.
child, and continues to get me through
Right.
my days.
Right.
And so I, kind of describe it as, people.
Yeah.
How do I know what to bring? Well, I
Well, let
look
me
at
show
people
a
and think
video
of it
here,
that way.
where I believe this is in Long Island, Patchogue, where they're giving thanks to. It's a very quick
Oh,
video.
yeah, that was really
It's only a few
special.
seconds, but I think it kind of summarizes, because we have a lot to cover. So let's take a look at
There
that,
is.
please.
Thank you.
I want to thank Rock and Roll for this. What a great donation. Tonight, as a matter of fact, the Soup Kitchen's meeting. We got people downstairs cooking right now. Tomorrow, the food pantry will be there for those lucky enough to have a hot plate. Thanks to Rock and Roll, because you have helped us out and you have helped out everybody in this community. You're a good force in this universe.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I'm just showing what we got here. Wow.
So let me also say that I see a little hippie girl in you, which I love. What I want to know is, you got involved with all these different bands. Who was the first? Was this at the Westbury Theater? Is that how it started?
It really did.
It
The idea,
did.
well,
Okay,
the idea
let's
kind of came to me, and my dream was, after we got this going, that my 5-year plan was maybe to be at the theater at Westbury. And a very dear friend was doing a tribute concert there 3 months after. Michael Feldman, which was just marvelous.
Great.
And we were at the venue. He introduced us to Bob Buckman, the venue management, and they all said, "We love this, and you've got a home
Can you believe
here."
that? Look at that.
And I was like, "Okay, you're kidding, right?" And
And
they
then
said,
there
"No,
were
no,
other
no, you're
theaters
here."
as well. You had
So
the
now
Beacon
we've been at
Theater.
the Beacon, we've been at the Best Buy
Unbelievable.
Theater, we've been at the Patchogue Theater at Bayshore, we're at
So
at
you're all
Bolton
over.
Center, we're at
Now,
Paramount.
was it Lynyrd Skynyrd who was the first group? Who was the first group you got? Let me just share with the audience some of the people that
That
have
helped us
been
out.
doing this. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Greg Allman, Maroon 5, sexiest man going, huh?
I know, and there's a picture of Wright and me. I think I'm more happy about it than he is, perhaps, I don't know.
I don't think so. Not with all that you're doing. Gavin DeGraw, Debbie Gibson, Wavy Gravy. Now, a lot of people may
Isn't that
not
amazing?
remember that's going way back. Train, Brad Paisley, Stephen Winwood. I mean, that's just crazy.
It is
to get
crazy.
going. Is it
In
that
my
one
wildest
celebrity?
dreams.
Let me ask you: is it that one celebrity has heard about this, and then the next person? Is it easier after that, or is it just that they're all wanting to contribute?
Well, I think that everybody I've met, they're fabulous people, and they're wonderful people, and they're very giving people. They're artists, and they get it, and they're rock and
get it.
rollers,
Okay.
and they obviously can't do everything. So aligning with us really lets them use their voice, and social media is so huge for us.
Has helped
You know,
tremendously, right?
If they can put out a tweet, and we don't ask a whole lot, give us a tweet, give me
Right.
140 characters, and it can really help me feed 140 families.
That's amazing.
Take a
That's
picture.
extraordinary.
They say a picture says 1,000 words,
Right.
and for rock and roll, it can really help us feed 1,000 families.
I love
and
that.
and they get it, and that's really, we don't ask anything more than that, and They're so kind and generous.
Well, I have another video,
Okay.
and this time it's an overview of what you're all about.
That's
So if we
great.
can see that video, I think it'll give our viewers a great understanding and appreciation, because we want to help.
Thank you. We need it.
Sure.
Why not feed the people everywhere and let the peace begin? Turn your swords to plowshares everywhere and feed the people.
And rock and roll is not just about, you know, a can of food. It's about the act of doing something. And everybody can do something.
Why not feed the people everywhere and let the peace begin? Turn your swords to plowshares everywhere and feed the people. Other people dead, even with government persuasion of the most compelling kind. Give them a choice, they'd be looking at you as if you lost your mind.
Okay, my name is Trevor. I'm the kitchen manager at the Border Mission Kitchen. But these stuff, your name is?
Amy.
Amy has given us for the past 2 weeks, months.
Well, this stuff,
helping
yeah,
out
for the past couple
so
weeks.
Much for these people that is in needs in the Rockaways, Staten Island, Brooklyn, even around here in New York City. It helps so much. I appreciate that.
It's so our pleasure.
You know, from the Bari to you, thank you. What a gift.
All of this craziness, yeah, we're not going away till we stop feeding hatred with embargoes and blockades. Why take the time to worry about anybody else? Maybe talk about them. Wonder how they felt, caught in the crossfire of someone else's fight. What is wrong? Nobody's right.
Hey, this is Devin Allman from the band Royal Southern Brotherhood. Rock Can Roll is such a fantastic idea. It's very simple. You bring non-perishable food items like canned goods and dry foods to concerts and know that you're helping out hungry, homeless Americans. These goods go right from the concerts to the local food shelters. You can help out while you rock out. Check out rockcanroll.org to learn more.
I'm watching you, and I wish the audience could have seen your face. As you're watching this, you're reliving the whole thing, and you're saying,
I'm
"This is
sorry, I'm getting
incredible.
like
Look at this person." You're
choked
getting
up.
emotional. But that's because you have so much passion. And I asked you about your family, and you said, they think I'm crazy. You're crazy with passion and goodness and
you.
helping other people, which I really applaud you for. You have a few other things as well. You have the rock and roll garden in which you raise. It's
Right, we provide seeds,
Seeds,
non-GMO seeds that, kids and families and people can grow and take to local soup kitchens and pantries.
Rocking ambassadors. I love the Rockin' Shop, and which is a
Rockin' Shop
program
is
with the kids
fantastic.
to go in and buy food, use coupons.
Well, people donate money to us,
donate
and
money.
we'll give kids money to go into a store to shop for a food pantry that's local to where they are. Kids, their time is so managed and micromanaged that they maybe can only go shopping with a parent at 11 o'clock at night on a Thursday when there's no school on Friday. But they can do something, and they all have to do this community service, and there's just not enough time in their days and their weeks and their months to get it done.
And you have Pets Rock, so you're taking care of the pets.
Very much so.
I know you have some exciting things coming up in 2014. Do you want to mention one particular event? Anything?
One coming up. Well,
Yeah.
I'll give you two.
Okay,
because there's two
absolutely.
fabulous
Go
things.
ahead.
First of all, for the past few years, the Elvis Tribute Show is Long Island musicians that are
Where is
off
that?
the charts. It's going to be at the Bolton Center
Oh,
in
great,
Bayshore next week, actually, next Saturday night. And it's a huge fundraiser for rock and roll and just great fun. And then, of course, we've got David Crosby, 4 nights at the City Winery in Manhattan.
Not bad.
It's, it isn't bad. It's really all good.
I'd like to have you look into the camera and tell the audience what they can do to help.
Well, what can you do to help? Find us at rockandroll.org. It's the first thing. Learn about rock and roll. We need funds. We need money. We need volunteers. We need space. We need whatever you have that's good. Well, trust me, we can put it to good use to get it to other people who need it.
We're going to close with the sexiest man. And I thank you so much for being here. But let's take a look at Maroon 5 because he's helping out while he's rocking out.
That's it.
Hello everybody, this is Maroon 5, and we're playing a show coming up at Jones Beach, and we urge you guys to bring all canned foods that you may want to donate to Rock Can Roll.
Indeed.
Rock Can Roll.
Indeed.
Cans.
Indeed.
Don't bring bottles. Don't bring fabrics. Don't bring like pastries. Unless they're canned pastries, but I've never heard of that before. But yes, Rock Can indeed roll. Rock Can Roll. Bring cans of stuff and give them to people that need it.
Yeah, this is a great charity. Check out rockcanroll.org for more information about it, and please bring anything you can out to Jones Beach on August 11th. And this charity works with a lot of other concerts too, so check out their website and see what other concerts you can bring cans to, and we can help put a dent in hunger.
I'm gonna get a can of whoop ass right now.
All right, woo!
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
I am so excited to have my very good friend. He's a great cameraman. He's one of the owners of Madhouse TV. He's a celebrity, and when you hear him sing later, you're going to love it as much as I do. This is Tommy Marr.
How are you, Gail?
I'm terrific, and I'm so excited that you are here tonight. But you know, people want to know Tommy the man. So let's talk a little bit about the fact that you did grow up on Long Island in Copiague.
No, Amityville.
Amityville, sorry. Next to is it?
Yeah, next town.
Copiague, right. And I'm curious, were you into music as a child?
Always? I was always into music. I was more into sports because I came from a very sports-minded family.
Okay.
I had two older brothers, national wrestling champions, and my other brother was signed by the Mets, and so we were very athletic, and we all played three sports, and that was our life, playing sports. But all of us loved music, and I had two older brothers, so it started with the doo-wop stuff, and I had the history from them because it was always being played in the house, and it was a very tiny little apartment. So.
Tommy, you always have this great thing with kids. They love you. And I know you have six grandsons, which they feel, living with you.
Yes.
How different would you say it is today as opposed to when you were a child living there?
Well, as everyone knows, when we were kids, we were never in the house. You got home from school, get out of your school clothes, get in your play clothes, and come back when the lights come on. And every kid did that. You went everywhere with a bat and a ball. You played sports. You were always active. You were in the woods. You built tree forts. You built, everything. Everything. We, like little rascals. You go down behind the store and get the orange crates. And the break would be just a hunk of wood and a nail. And none of the girls had wheels on their strollers, baby strollers, because they were on our go-karts. But, and you know, at night we go, actually there was a farm across the street from my house, and we used to run through the farm, and we used to wear white T-shirts and catch the light, which you might not like. I know Vicky won't like it, but we used to catch the lightning bugs away from the, and then rub the thing so we would glow at night. You know, we were like hip in the early 50s.
But here's where I'm going with that. Aside from the fact, and we know that there are so many differences, I also know that we still take these intrinsic values that we learn from from home.
Right.
Who was it that most inspired you, and what are you imparting to your grandchildren today and your children?
Well, I mean, you know, and I'm sure, you know, everybody in my age bracket, you know, there were certain things you just did. You know, first of all, I still believe that the reason that families have kind of parted, no, well, there's a couple reasons, but I think number one is the two parents working, and number two, which I've said for 25 years now, I believe that the downfall of the American family was when the second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh television came in the house. Because when I was a kid, if you had a TV, which we didn't even have a TV until I was like 10, but your whole family sat around, you ate together. There was none of this, I'm eating in my room. There was no takeout. You ate as a family. You talked at the table. And you, when you did watch TV, you all watched the same shows, and you shared in conversation with your family. And now, this one's in this room, he's watching MTV, this one's watching porn, this one's over here watching this one, you know. And it's, the nucleus of the family has, you know, it's dispensed, you know, it's, everybody's going here and going there, and no one's together. I mean, I know a lot of people, and very few families actually sit down and have dinner
it's
together.
One of the things that people are always encouraged to do, what's happening in school, what's going on. And I know that you're a hero to quite a few people. Who would you say in your life was your hero on life?
Oh, my dad. No question about it. And my mother. No question. I mean, we didn't have anything, but we had everything.
What piece of advice did your dad give that's still with you today that you would like to share?
Well, I think that one of the biggest things that he's taught me is your word. Your word and you know, being loyal. Don't lie.
Values. Values.
Don't lie was a big one. And he said, you know, it might not get you today. It might not get you in 10 years, but maybe in 20 years it'll catch up with you. Lying was definitely something. You will not catch me in a lie.
Tell me, what are you most proud of? Want to come back to that? Or?
I'm just proud. I'm really, really into watching my grandkids, and you know, I coach all their Little League teams. I'm proud of that. We're a family unit that's still incommunicado with each other,
I know
everybody supports each other.
Right. I know everybody wants me to get to Woodstock, but I do have to say that I know you've overcome adversity, and you've helped others by talking about it, correct?
Sure, sure. Oh, I mean, you mean with me? Oh, you know, I mean, I was a I was a maniac. I mean, I grew up in a maniac.
I can't believe that.
I was in a maniac town. I mean, I was a badass, you know, there's no question. You know, I drank a lot. Right. I worked in bars all my life. I ran bars. I mean, any of my friends could tell you. I mean, I see people in the street that haven't seen me. They go, "You're still alive," you know. But I mean, I got sober 34 years ago, and I haven't had a drink in 34 years, and probably the greatest thing I ever did in my life. You know, it's definitely for myself, without question. You know.
Excellent. All right, now I know I wasn't allowed to go, but in 1969, you were there for 3 days at Woodstock.
I was there for 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that, because it was, what is it, Max Yasgur.
Max Yasgur's farm.
He had 600 acres, and I remember that we were told that the thruway
was shut down.
Shut down.
There was 500,000 people that were on their way there that couldn't get in. So it was over 1 million people.
Do you know that tickets were being sold for $14 to $17? Today that would be the equivalent of $189
it was
to $114.
It was $6 a day, and $18 for the 3 days.
For the 3 days, and then they gave up because there was so many hordes, hundreds of thousands.
There was no way to control
people.
it. No way to control it.
Correct. I also wanted to mention that Rolling Stone said that this is one of the 50 greatest moments that changed the face of rock and roll, and our governor at the time wanted to actually bring in the National Guard.
That would have been a disaster.
Would have been horrible. And Max went to him with a few other promoters
Well,
Because-
John went to
right.
him and begged
Oh,
him.
correct.
Literally begged him. And Rockefeller told him,
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, if anything goes down, it's on your neck.
And the reason, and this is what I read, and of course you can correct me, I was not there. My parents said, you're absolutely not going. I was in college, and my friends were able to go. But what I had heard, and this did come true, that there was tremendous traffic problems. That it was unsanitary conditions. There were some drugs, absolutely. There was drinking. It was crowded. There were people just crashing all over the place. And the newspapers had apparently picked this up. And they made a big story about it. And parents were able to speak with their children who were on lines, because we had no cell phones, who were on lines at the phone booth. And they discovered that there actually was not this big problem that was suggested. What about the spirituality?
To me, I mean, and anyone that does know me knows I have a Facebook page called The Woodstock Guru, and everybody immediately associates it with Woodstock, but it's not, in truth, about Woodstock. It's actually about the spirit of Woodstock and how these people came together. I mean, I was there. There was not, I never saw an argument. I never saw a fight. I never saw anybody pushing or shoving. And in my living room, I have a picture probably this big of an aerial shot, black and white, and it's little, I don't know what was going on, but literally everyone was sitting. And you can actually see that all 500,000 people were sitting there, and everyone's shoulder was touching the person next to them. You couldn't do that. You can't get on the line in the drugstore now without someone saying, what are you looking at? What do you, there's somebody, you touching me, you're in, everybody's got this space now, rather than come into my space. And that's what the page is about. It's about the spirit of being kind, treating people with decency. And, this, I mean, we're in, there's the road rage, everything. It's just, it's crazy.
Max
it's crazy.
said that it was a victory of love and peace. I'm going to go over some of the people who were there because they're telling me I have to very quickly move on. There was one heroin death. There was one accident with a tractor trailer. There were 2 babies born, and aside from that, that was it. We had 500,000 people in the 4 days. Let me ask you about some of the groups. I have to just quickly go through this. I do want to mention Richie Havens, whose ashes are scattered there. The Star Spangled Banner, Joe Cocker.
We were there, watched his ashes come down.
Janis Joplin. I mean, we're talking about Blood, Sweat, and Tears, 10 years after, one of your favorite groups. And, of course, the first group that was there who received $10,000, do you know who that was?
Well, Richie Havens was the first one to go on.
Not the first one to sign the actual paper.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember, too.
There's a lot of stories about that. A lot of them, they make lefts and rights. But,
I know the Beatles
like
said
the
they
Who
didn't
was, I think they got like 75 grand, and that was a lot of money in those days, And a lot of them didn't want to come because they didn't think they were going to get paid, like Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Right, they turned that down.
And Young.
Bob Dylan didn't come.
Yeah,
Zeppelin
didn't come.
You also make a tremendous difference here at the studio because of the lives of the people whom you not only touch, but the people you bring in. Can you tell us before you sing and before we close the show, who has really impressed you and how you feel you made a difference in that person's life?
Well, I mean, of course, we've had 10 Years After in here. We've had Les Zeppelin, the Girls Zeppelin band, which was incredible. We spent a whole day and night with the Who, which was unbelievable. We had dinner with them, front row with them at the Coliseum. Spent the whole night in Pete Townshend's dressing room. But I'll tell you the truth, the thing I really like most about what we do on the show is bringing the local entertainment, and even, we've had come in Jersey, Philadelphia, is giving them a showcase that they would have never been seen to literally hundreds of thousands of people. And that makes me feel real good. We've already had 2 people signed, so I like, as much as I like that the big guys, like tomorrow night, we got George Thorogood, the Destroyers coming in.
Amazing.
And
bad to the bone.
There you go, girl. That's what I like most.
I'm going to have to ask you to come on over here and rock us out.
This I didn't want to do, I can tell you that.
For me, my favorite song.
Because I don't do karaoke tracks.
My favorite song, as you go ahead, please cross in front of me. My favorite song in the whole world, a record that my mom used to throw out, and I kept going back and buying it, and I just love it. I love it.
Check, 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 check.
House
Check.
of the Rising Sun.
And Gail, you know I'm only doing this for you, believe me.
Mwah. Love
Believe me.
you. Guys want to come over?
Check. I need some vocals over here.
Come by me.
I wore my conservative jacket for Gail tonight. You will never see me in it again. Maybe
And it's back the room of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. Well, she sold my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down